Walking to school has always been a pain, but I have to go regardless.
Kokichi?
Nagito said from beside me. We usually walked to school together, seeing as he was the only one who could tolerate me besides Rentaro.
Sorry, Nagito. I was busy thinking about how much of a hellhole school is.
I yelled with a laugh.
Kokichi, school is hell, so you're not wrong. But I mean, I shouldn't be complaining.
Nagito said, looking down and chastising himself. He always does this. I nudged him with my elbow.
I don't deserve to complain.
He added silently, but I heard it anyway.
Nagito, you shouldn't think so lowly of yourself.
I said, hugging his arm teasingly. Nagito was like my older brother, except I don't have one. We've always gotten along fairly well because we're both kinda, well, not normal. Which is great because normal people suck. They're so boring and always have the same damn reactions. Always talking like they know everything, they know exactly what we're thinking, when in reality they don't have a fucking clue. Fucking normies.
You shouldn't give such hope to trash like me.
Nagito said, giving me the wobbly, hard-to-read smile. I let go of him and looked up at him.
Nagito, you are something else.
I said, patting his back, causing him to laugh because of the height difference. I huffed and walked faster, getting ahead of him.
Kokichi, wait up.
Nagito yelled from behind me, running to catch up with me.
Sorry, Nagito. I just like seeing you so distraught.
I said with my signature smirk, making him smile. We walked into the building like we do every day. We talked about what assignments we had, while Nagito would have some self-deprecating comments every once in a while. He is kind of a handful sometimes, but I still love him like a brother. I haven't ever had anyone I would consider family because my parents are rarely ever home, so I'm always on my own. I've had to learn over the years how to take care of myself and how to be an independent person. This is why I find it hard to rely on other people, except for Nagito. He treats me better than anyone else. Although I still act like an asshole around him, something must be wrong with him. Everyone in school knows me for being a prankster and being, well, an asshole. The bell rang, cutting my thoughts short. I looked up at Nagito and he gave me a sympathetic look before he waved goodbye, leaving me in the hallway. My first class is in classroom 2A. It's only a short walk from where I am. Miss Monofini is the English teacher. Although she comes off as sweet, when you make her mad, she might kill you.
Look who it is, Kokichi Oma, the ultimate asshole.
Miu yelled from the other side of the classroom, making some giggles and laughs from the group of... Oh my god. Miu yelled from the other side of the classroom, making some students giggle and laugh at her comment. I scoffed and gave her a glare, making her stutter and lose the confidence she had moments before.
Well, look at the little whore bitchlet. It's a surprise you can even talk at all, seeing as you're such a big dumbass.
I said, making some people groan.
Everyone take your seats. We have to finish that paper we started yesterday, and you need to turn it in before the end of the period.
Monofini said, getting cut off by one of the office aides walking into the classroom. They had a boy standing next to them, and he looked like he could be around my age. Is he a new student here?
Oh, I remember you mentioning something like this to me this morning.
She said under her breath, probably annoyed from being interrupted.
Well, class, we have a new transfer student joining us at Hope's Peak this year.
She announced to the classroom, making everyone go silent and turn their focus to the boy in the front. He seemed nervous. Seeing as he wore all black and had a hat covering his eyes, I'm thinking he doesn't like talking to people or being the center of attention very much. Now that I mention it, he doesn't even show his face at all. I have no clue what this mystery boy looks like. I tried to imagine what his face could look like. He has pale hands, so he must be pale, and he has blue hair, seeing as a little bit of it is poking out from his hat. What color could his eyes be? Maybe blue? He looked right at me for just a moment. I could feel heat rush to my face. What is this? I put my hands on my cheeks, trying to cool them down. Who is that? We made eye contact for a couple of seconds before he looked away with a similar shade of red to mine. What just happened? He had golden eyes. They were beautiful. I wanted to look into them again, only to find he was looking at the ground again, making his hat cover his face, and more importantly, his eyes.
Well, the only spot that is open for you to sit in is by Kokichi. But before you do that, why don't you introduce yourself?
Monofuni asked him to say something. There was a moment of awkward silence before he spoke up.
My name is Shuichi Sayara. They call me the ultimate detective.
He said, keeping his head down. I almost didn't hear him because of how quietly he spoke, and also because I sat in the back of the classroom.
Alright, welcome Shuichi. You can go and take your seat next to Kokichi in the back,
she said, directing him in my direction. He walked over slowly and sat down next to me, causing the redness to return to my cheeks. What the hell? Why am I getting flustered? I'm Kokichi Ouma, the ultimate supreme leader. I don't get flustered.
Hi,
he said, almost silently beside me.
Hi.
I whispered, while Monofuni started talking about the paper again.
So, what's this paper we need to do?
He stuttered, trying to lift his head only to get more flustered and put his head down on the table. I smiled at how cute he is. Wait, cute?
Well, we did some research on a paper yesterday, and we have to finish writing our paper today. I can help if you want.
I whispered, trying to suppress the blush on my face.
Yeah, that would be nice. Thank you, Kokichi.
He stuttered again.
Well, I might not have time in class to help you right now, but we could work on yours after class, if you want to.
I whispered, looking at his hat where his face would be if he wasn't avoiding my eye contact.
Yeah,
He said again, raising his head a bit. I wanted to grab his face and make him look at me, but I didn't want him to hate me like everyone else does.
Okay, here's my phone number. We can meet by the front gates and go to my house to get your paper done. What other classes do you have? Maybe we have some more classes together.
I asked. He shoved the paper into my hand, giving me a glimpse of his eyes when he raised his head again.
oh, thanks.
He whispered before opening the paper. I looked at the paper and we had all our classes together, which wasn't that uncommon at this academy. Seeing as Hope's Peak is an academy that only accepts ultimate students, so there aren't usually a lot of students that go here compared to a normal public high school.
We have all our classes together, so I could catch you up when we meet after school.
I responded, getting a small nod from him. I frowned, not being able to hear his voice makes me sad. But I pushed that thought aside, focusing back on my paper. School finally ended. It was super boring. I mean, it always is, but anticipating my meeting with the mystery boy Shuichi Sayara just made the day feel like forever. I was waiting for Shuichi to come to the front gate. I was already waiting for about 5 minutes. I tapped my foot while looking through the crowd of students going through the gate, until finally he stumbled up to me with his hat over his eyes. Again.
Sorry I took so long.
He said, chiding himself.
Hey, it's alright. You ready to get caught up?
I asked, grabbing his hand, causing my heartbeat to quicken and my face to become a light shade of pink.
Come on, let's go.
I yelled before dragging him to my house.
Alright.
He said, sounding nervous. I could feel his hand shaking in mine. He must be scared. I stopped for a moment, causing a confused grunt to come from Shuichi.
Hey, Shuichi. It's alright, I'm not gonna do anything to you, okay? Don't worry about it. I know that coming to a new school is stressful, but I will help you be prepared and be able to come to school like you have been here from the start, okay? You just have to trust me.
I asked, hoping that I somewhat reassured him.
Sorry. I didn't mean to make you think that I was scared of you. Sorry.
He said, bowing his head down. I smiled at him.
Don't worry about it. I promise I'll help you. That's what friends do, alright?
I said, worried that he would be offended. I called him my friend. I looked back at him and noticed his hat was higher up on his head so I could see his eyes. I smiled and stared into them. They were so beautiful, I found it hard to look away.
Ah!
He yelled, face going red, and he tried to pull his hat down, but this time I caught his hand. He looked up at me surprised, his face getting redder the longer his hand was in mine.
Hey, I like to see your face.
I said, taking his hat off his head with my other hand.
And your eyes are really pretty.
I said, blushing, but this time I didn't try to suppress it. He didn't respond, he just smiled, making me smile back at him. After looking in each other's eyes for a moment, I took his hand in mine, walking towards my house. I could tell he was nervous without his hat, and I don't want to lie, but I found it so cute. We got to my house. We got all the things we needed to get out to do our homework, and to get Shuichi caught up. We sat next to each other on the couch and talked about homework until his parents texted him that it was time for him to go home.
Kokichi?
Shuichi asked, getting his things into his backpack.
Yeah, Shuichi?
I asked, looking back at him.
Could we do this every day?
He said, looking down, reaching for his hat.
Of course, Shuichi.
I smiled, putting his hat on his head.
You're the only one I want, Shuichi. I would love to do homework with you every day.
I said, booping his nose. He blushed again and pulled me into a hug.
On one condition.
I said, looking him in the eyes.
Yeah?
He said, looking concerned.
You can't wear your hat when you come over here.
I pushed his hat up, holding his hand so I could see his eyes.
Alright. I won't.
He looked to the side before he heard his phone go off again.
Sorry. I have to go, Kokichi.
He said, pulling me into one final hug before saying,
Thanks for being my friend, Kokichi.
And then he walked out the door.
Of course, Shuichi.
I said with a smile before I waved, closing the door.
You're the one I want, Shuichi.